Hi, this is Glory with Successful Marketing Group. Tonight, close to 6,000 youth will be homeless in this Minnesota winter, and soon it'll be 20 plus below. You can help keep these kids warm by donating whatever you can. $20 will actually buy 5 pairs of ski gloves. These kids are cold and on the streets. Please consider helping. Go to the Winter Wear Drive website to donate at wwd.care. That's wwd.care. And on Sunday, December 15th at Lush in Minneapolis, we will be hosting a winter wear drop-off event where you will get to watch the live recording of the Cheryl Reeve Show with special guest host Jana Shortle. Go to wwd.care to donate and register for the event. Thank you so very much, and happy holidays from Successful Marketing Group.
We are catching up with Cheryl Reeve on the Cheryl Reeve Show. We haven't talked in a while. Cheryl's been all over the place and actually had a vacation. I actually took a vacation, came out to Seattle early for the Vikings game, here with my wife, walking around one of my favorite cities. And we're going to get to a bunch of different topics. We're going to talk about the national team and the WNBA, of course. This is our basketball and other stuff show on TalkNorth.com. Please follow us on Twitter at TalkNorthPod. Thank you to our producer, Brandon Morton. Also, thank you to SuccessfulMarketingGroup.com and local realtor Cara Quinn. Also, we wanted to tell you about, and let me make sure I get this right, wanted to tell you about a special event we have coming up. It is Gloria Ramsey has helped put together another homeless youth winter wear drive. She does such great work. Gloria Ramsey, of course, is the owner of SuccessfulMarketingGroup.com, our longest running sponsor. Tonight, 6,000 Minnesota youth will be homeless and cold. You can help keep them warm. Last year, they ended up getting 1,560 winter items donated. They need your help again. And the cool thing is that Jana Shortle is going to take over my slot as the co-host of this show. Cheryl is going to do the show with Jana on Sunday, December 15th, 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. Podcast started about 4:20, but you might want to get there early. We had a big crowd last time we did a live show like this. It'll be at Lush, Minneapolis. That's 990 Central Avenue Northeast, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55413. That's Lush, Minneapolis, just like it sounds, 990 Central Avenue Northeast. You can register with money or winter clothing, and you can donate now. You can also buy your tickets. I'll try to get you more information on exactly the best place to find all that information, but I appreciate Lori doing that, and I know it'll be a great show. It was a blast when I got to do it last time. All right, let's get to some news here. One Twitter question we got was from the Sky Show in Chicago, asking, would love to hear Coach's thoughts on the whole entire USA basketball experience and tour so far, and of certain players like Sabrina and Kennedy Carter and Diamond DeShields.
Oh, great question. And it's obviously pretty loaded when you think about the expanded national team program and some of the challenges that go with players overseas. You have some that are staying home. So we're trying to put together a team, that's going to resemble the Olympic team. And so we're still part of the going through the selection process. But then we also have some staples of players that have been a part of the national team program for a long time. So that's been interesting to see, the players meshing, the ones that are not currently overseas. Certainly it's a good thing for them to be able to be playing, getting that run in the off season. And the ones that are overseas, it really is something that these players go through. You finish your WNBA season, you begin your overseas season, you take a break. Arike Agumawale and Diamond DeShields come, from their international teams to join the national team to spend about 5 days, with the team and to compete in the Olympic qualifying tournament that we had over in Argentina. And then they leave there and they go back to their teams, and the other ones go back to the U.S. And it's just really it's quite the operation in terms of when I think about the commitment that these players make to the national team program. It's quite extensive in the ways that they're pulled in so many directions between their WNBA season, their international play, and then you have to insert this national team play in there. I tell you, in terms of quality of play, it's something I really enjoy. The college tour, the first one that we went through, there were 4 top 10 teams in our country that we were playing against. And the quality of play in women's basketball, I think that's probably most notable for me, is just how it has just risen. Really over the last 10 years, I've seen a big jump, I think, in terms of individual talent, that's coming into our league. And then I just think overall, to me, this is the effect of UConn women's basketball domination is, if you want to be competitive and if you want to have a chance to win a national championship, you're going to have to get better. And so I think that we've seen that. There are so many good college basketball teams now. And so we saw that as we toured. Really, 3 of the 4 that we played were Pac-12 teams. The Pac-12 is really, really good. Each of those teams, what was fascinating was the different styles of play, different ways that they featured their talent. And I would say individual talent, we have some that are coming into the drafts. Obviously, Sabrina Ionescu will likely be the number 1 pick in this year's draft. It was really good to see her up close and personal, a little too up close and personal. She dropped 30 on us. She showed that obviously she's, I think probably in my experience with her, it's pretty limited. She did have a little bit of national team time with us last year. And then, and playing against her, that she's unafraid. And I think that characteristic, allows you to go really far. You can overcome, anything that, people think, you're too something, you're too slow, you're too small, you don't do something well enough. And I think for her, she probably had those labels. And so she just, continues to kind of thrive in proving people wrong. And I think she'll do the same thing. Those that think that maybe she doesn't have the athleticism necessary to be successful in the WNBA, I think they're going to find out that they're going to be wrong. This is somebody that's going to be around the WNBA for a long, long time, and I think have a great career. She does more than just, when you think about having athleticism, Lindsay Whalen, I think, was someone that was kind of misconstrued as not being athletic. Lindsay Whalen had tremendous burst athletically that allowed it. She did things differently than maybe, someone that would be considered more athletic than herself. And I think the same would be true for Sabrina, in that she has different ways of getting things done. She not only can pass the ball, she rebounds the ball. Obviously, she shoots the ball. She's really good in pick and roll. She destroyed us in our pick and roll. And I just think she's going to be really, really good. The other player we saw, that's probably going to be a high pick if she were to decide to declare early, would be Kennedy Carter out of Texas A&M. She'll be a top 5 pick. Extremely talented individually. Just her explosion, her physical gifts are really on another level. And, that's a player that I think just continues to mature. I have not ever coached her, not ever really been around her, so I don't really know the ins and outs there. But again, a player that will be a professional for a long time in the WNBA. Oregon State had a couple prospects. In Destiny Slocum, who again may or may not declare for the draft. Michaela Pivick, who's been a quality player in the Pac-12. So just really a great experience, to kind of see what's next in the WNBA, and obviously the competition overseas. I would say that Brazil is the team that I probably enjoy. We spent time in Puerto Rico together, and then we went to Argentina together, and having Damiris Dantas on our team and being able to see them, see her team play and what she's done for her team and how featured she is. That's kind of fun for us to watch in the offseason, to see her come into her prime.
You brought up some topics I really want to get to. By the way, the best place to go to find out more about the winter wear drive is wwd.care, C-A-R-E, wwd.care. You can donate today. You can find out more about more information about the drive itself and the event. And you see a cool picture of Cheryl and Jana, who I'm very proud to be working with on this show. And Lori Ramsey has done wonderful work here. You know how cold it gets in Minnesota. Can you imagine being without a coat or without a place? So check that out, wwd.care. First of all, the interesting thing you said about Whalen was, I thought Whalen early in her University of Minnesota career was incredibly athletic. She would basically speed dribble past entire defenses, and she could certainly elevate near the rim as well. It just seemed like later in her career, the brain took over.
Yeah, well, I think that happens to most players, but I think you have to really, if you have to watch Lindsay athletically, and the way that she cuts and moves when she gets rid of the ball. Obviously, when she's in pick and roll game, she had the ability to explode, use her body, kind of take the hit. But it wasn't in the way that you think of. I don't know. Think of like a Brittany Sykes, whose athleticism is out of this world in terms of her ability to leap and glide down the floor. So there's different ways to be athletic, I guess, and Lindsay, I think, just used her body in a way that allowed her to be successful. And you're exactly right. It's what happens to most players that later in your career, you get really smart about what you're doing. I remember having a conversation with Lindsay. I don't know if it was 2015 season. I thought officiating was starting to change in terms of what they were allowing at the rim. They started to officiate the RA and verticality in a way that was affecting Lindsay's ability to draw fouls. And then she would also get in there and go crashing to the floor. How many times have we seen that where Lindsay goes to the hoop and she would do that to sort of prevent injury and you would think that landing the way that she did would be more injury prone, but she saw that as a way to avoid, knee or ankle injuries. And so she would take that fall. And we got to a certain point where I said, hey, wait, I don't think this is good for us, in terms of, long term, it's not good for you. The recovery time now it takes to, get up off the floor and go the other way. But then also, what you feel, the number of times you take that. As I especially did not want her doing it at practice. Let's just reserve those, for game situations. But, I would say overall, she got smarter about, her attacks to the rim and started saving her body a little bit more for sure.
The other interesting thing I thought you said was, there have been people who have criticized women's basketball or UConn for being so dominant, saying it's bad for the sport. Sounds like you're more of a mind that you want a standard to shoot for. Absolutely.
There's no doubt in my mind that I think, in saying this about UConn, but I think also if you look at the WNBA Lynx for, since 2011, for the amount of time that we had a high level of success, we averaged 25 wins a season. And so I think we elevated the play of the WNBA. I think the LA Sparks and the Lynx in our two finals, those seasons that we had, I think we elevated the play. If you wanted to be a champion, you had to compete with us. And so it was it was our time. I just think that overall, the number of times that we heard people say, they wanted to do things the way that the Lynx or the Sparks were doing. And so I think that, I think it's, hey, if you don't like it, then do something about it. If you don't like that the Lynx win all the time or that UConn wins all the time, then do something about it. And that might be change that you have to put more resources into something. Maybe you have to recruit differently, or you have to change something, to be able to be more successful. And I think we've seen that. I think in the like I said, nationally right now, there are so many strong programs, people that are recruiting. And, what I like is that the number one recruiting class isn't the same team every year. That's what I like. I like that that's being, South Carolina had the number one recruiting class that are freshmen this year. I think Stanford had the year before. And I think, I don't know who's got this year's number one recruiting class, but I like that, players are sort of, not just choosing one or two programs. It's really being spread out. And I think it's helped the quality of play. And then it has made for more interesting, situations competitively, but it's not boring that UConn has won all those years. I think it's really interesting how everyone has elevated and is now looking to, obviously compete with UConn and make sure that there are different champions each year.
So Gloria Ramsey, who's running the Winter Wear Drive, runs SuccessfulMarketingGroup.com. Please check out Gloria's business, as we always tout her business. Right now, we're going to emphasize the event that's coming up December 15th. Also want to thank Cara Quinn, your Minneapolis-St. Paul realtor. She approaches her work as a real estate agent with passion